Hi, this channel is about rebuilding Triumphs and things that I'm learning as I restore one of my Triumphs. And today I'm working on my TR6 engine. I'm rebuilding it. And I bought a Power Tune vernier cam gear because it was on sale, and I bought it as an impulse buy. And today's video is a review specifically of this gear and why I chose not to use it. Now, I'm not an expert on this, so maybe some of my conclusions aren't correct, and you can let me know. If you want to see more information about it and how I actually degreed the cam with a new regular cam gear, there's another video on that. Anyway, if this is helpful to you, please like it or comment on it. If you know something about this that I don't know, or if I made a wrong conclusion, let me know in the comments. Thank you. Let's get to it. So in the case of my TR6 engine, I can flip this gear 90 degrees. So I flipped it 90 degrees, and turning this cam gear 90 degrees is supposed to flip it by 20 degrees. Turning this one 90 degrees is supposed to flip this one 20 degrees. I didn't measure that, but what I did find is the closest I could get. Now, for my cam, I wanted to get 6 degrees before top dead center. The closest I could get was 9 degrees or 0 degrees before top dead center. So I couldn't, by flipping this, I could not get to my 6 degrees before top dead center while this one was still at a 50 thousandths lift. Does that make sense? I checked the effect of the chain movement. So if I move the chain, or move one tooth of this gear, one tooth of this gear, and one tooth of this gear. So one tooth of the crank gear moved caused a 17 degree rotation of the crank. One tooth of the cam gear caused an 8 to 9 degree change. So this is a lot of things to think about. I can get a 20 degree change. I can get this one within 3. And so on. I can get a 17 degree change here and an 8 to 9 degree change here. But I think the net effect of it was I found no matter what I did, I could get it within 3 or 4 degrees, but that was it. Right? Well, 3 to 4 degrees is within the effect of filing the holes. You can get a plus or minus or more than 4 degrees, but the competition preparation manual recommends 20 degrees off usually indicates you should rotate the timing wheel to an alternate set of bolt holes. 4 to 5 degrees can be picked up by elongating the holes in the timing wheel. Now, what that means is you can go 4 degrees this way, or you can go 4 degrees that way for a total of 8 to 9 degrees of movement. I got within 3 degrees in my case. I could get it within 3-4 degrees. So what this says is I can file the holes and get my 3 to 4 degrees what I needed for my 6 degrees before top dead center. So what is this saying? It's saying that I don't really need, in my case, I don't really need this 12 degree movement. And I can't think of a single case where moving this a single tooth, or changing it 90 degrees and moving it a single tooth and filing this a little bit to get that extra 4 degrees. I can't think of a single case where you can't set this where you want it. So why get one of these? The only thing I can think of, and maybe you can help me here, where you might want to get one of these is if you go to a dyno and you run it and you move it by a degree, and you run it and you move it by a degree, and you run it and you move it by a degree, and you want the ease of doing that to get some particular power curve that you're looking for. or maybe you'd be able to adjust it from one kind of race and adjust it for another kind of race. I'm not a racer, so I don't know. But I can't think of any reason why the average user, even if they're putting in a fast road cam like this TSI 275.6, needs this kind of adjustment. I think all you really need is this, and maybe file the holes a little bit, and you're good to go. So here's the real issue I have with this gear and why I wouldn't use this one. So let's look at the measurements of these two gears. Now, the first measurement we're going to take is of the tooth thickness. And we see that this tooth is 0.207. Let's take a look at this one. We get on a tooth 0.206. This is close enough. The teeth are the same thickness on these, are close enough. When I measure all the overall thickness of it, this one gives me 0.605. Let me make sure that's right. Yeah, 0.605, 0.606. This one gives me 0.606. This one gives me 0.611, 0.612. This one gives me 0.612. So what that means is that I have a 6/1000ths difference between this one and this one. We saw that we had 6/1000ths difference between the thickness of the vernier gear and the thickness of the crank gear. Half of that is 3/1000ths. If I pushed it 3/1000ths that way, the end float on the cam is 4 to 8/1000ths spec. So 3/1000ths is almost half of the end float it would lose. I'm not comfortable with that. So is spinning this wanted this to normalize, it wanted to push it in 3/1000ths that way. This end float's supposed to be 4/1000ths. It's going to push it in 3/1000ths this way. It's end up with an end float of only 1/1000th, which is way too tight. Now, what would that impact? I think what would happen, and I'm no expert on this, but my guess is that what would happen is that the distributor drive gear, which runs against the cam, that would push in on the drive gear and perhaps wear this gear or cause problems there. I don't know. In any case, I don't feel comfortable with having that much of a gap. If this end float is 4/1000ths and we're perhaps taking 3/1000ths of that away with the spinning of the gear, I don't feel comfortable with that. For the process of how I actually installed this cam gear and degreed it, please see the video that I have provided a link to in the description of this video. So I ended up with two reasons why I wouldn't use a vernier gear at all, and one reason why I wouldn't use the Power Tune one. Two reasons why I wouldn't use a vernier gear in my situation is because I could do everything I needed by flipping this gear and elongating the holes for non-racing the way I do it. I don't need to adjust it different times between races or anything. The second reason I don't want to use a vernier gear is it costs $150 to $190, and I can use that money for something else. And the third reason I wouldn't use a Power Tune version of this gear had to do with the alignment issue and the possible problems that could cause. So that concludes this video. If you know something I don't about these, please leave a comment. I always appreciate comments. If you got something out of this video or you want to encourage me to do more of these and spend the time to do these, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It encourages me to do more. Thanks again.